What is good, people? Welcome back to the channel. KG is back, and it's time for a Christmas edition for the channel. You know me, I love this time of year. So here we are again, people. Super malt jumper, all ready to go. The ugly sweater is ugly. But listen, I love this time of year. And look, we're here to preview the game between Stoke City versus Leeds United on Boxing Day. Can't wait for the game. I know it's an away game, but we'll get into that as well. But I'm looking forward to this game, and I feel like this is a game that we can get on track, get our away form going, and let's do some good stuff heading into the next year. Because, like Danny Farker said, there's no celebrations now. The celebrations gotta be in May where we get promoted. Shout out to you, Parrot House, man. Always supporting, man. Thank you so much for the super sticker. Thank you for that kind of support. Always supporting. Parrot House is also a member of the channel. If you want to become a member, the link is in the description. Chris in the house. I hope you're all right, Chris, man. I know you had a little operation. I hope you're good, man. KG is back for a live before Christmas. Merry Christmas to all in the KG house, and thanks for all you've done this year. Always here, man. Always here, and I appreciate you, Chris, man. And look, yeah, look, if you whether you celebrate, whether you don't, it's cool. Whatever it is, happy holidays, all that kind of stuff. Just enjoy the occasion. If you're by yourself, no, maybe it's a chance to reflect on things and see what you can do for the next coming year. Make it your best year ever. That's what I would say. Shout out to you, Matt. Salute to you. Salute to you, Annabelle. Lee in the house. Yep. Chris, this is not a Chiefs jumper, man. This is a super malt jumper. Do you know how this is like gold dust? Do you know what I mean? I could sell this for a lot of money. I think. I think anyway. But listen, let's get into a couple of the news and notes. And seriously, yeah, Merry Christmas to everyone in the chat, man. Love this time of year. Gonna watch some Christmas movies in a bit. You know what I mean? Get the beef roasting the night before, so it just simmers overnight. You know how we do, people. You know how we do. But Beren Cross here reporting that we've received yet another apology from the PGMOL. I only report this just in case you guys care about this kind of stuff. I don't really care about these kind of things, because for me, once a game is gone, the game's gone. It's over. There's nothing you can do about it. The result won't change. Everything else won't change. It was pretty obvious that that should have been at least a second yellow. Even a referee said could have been a straight red. Well, we've got another apology. All I'll say is that these things kind of even up over the season, and whether we get a penalty that looks a bit dubious, and I think we've had one this season so far, actually, and also we've got away with one with Joe Roden when he did foul somebody in the box. These things come around. So listen, we've got another apology, yet another referee error. There we go, everyone. Uh, Shout out to you, Ina, man. Shout out to you, Ina. Michael here saying no. Another apology minimum is that he doesn't ref another one of our games. Now, I don't agree with that. I think if anything, Michael, if you want to look at it another way, it's one of those things where you could say, well, maybe if he referees one of our games before, he'll have that in the back of his mind saying, "Oh, I messed up on this one. I can't mess up with them again. I might have to give him something." Hey, you never know. It can work with you in the other way. Annabelle saying, "Lovely jumper." It's beautiful, man. It's beautiful, beautifully ugly, as we say. But listen, there wasn't too much in the press conference notes, which is why I'm rolling all of this into one. Going to do my 11 as well, so please get yours in the comments as well. But Danny Farker says we've got no injury issues, or he's optimistic that there shouldn't be any injury issues. And unless somebody overdoes it on Christmas and stretches for the remote and then strains an arm or something, we should be fine. The players, though, they will be going in via, I think they're going in Christmas Day as well. I don't think there's going to be any days off. Danny Farkas said that this is a time for them to get working. There won't be too much celebration with family, but hopefully there's a big celebration in May. So I think that just tells you as well, people, that message alone tells you just how all in this football club, not just the team, not just Danny Farker, this club is on getting promoted this season. It's so important. I mean, the importance, there's no point us going over it. It's just vital that we get out of this league this season. And I think that kind of message sends it, because there's other clubs that are having some Christmases off. Man City, I think, are going in as well, quite obviously due to their recent form. But I know players that are off tomorrow, and some that have been suspended for Boxing Day. I won't say too much, but yeah, there's some players that will be off over this little period. But it just shows you just how committed that the football club is to getting back up. But yeah, listen, Joe Roden sustained a cut to his head, usual Joe Roden shenanigans here, cut head, sore neck, bad back. He'll be playing, people. He'll be back and ready to go. So yeah, we got no issues ahead of the game versus Stoke. And this is Stoke at the minute, people, just to spotlight them. Big pressure on their manager. I don't know how to say his name. I think it's Narcis Palak. I'm gonna go with that. Palach. Let's go with that. Pressure is on him at Stoke after a poor run for the club. The general consensus that it's a big week for Stoke, and there is this, and there is a disappointment in the results. And if there's a disappointment in the results, and this is what they're talking about, people. Since they've come back from the international break, it's been a draw against QPR, draw against Preston, a loss, at home to Burnley. So Burnley showing that you can go to Stoke and win. So, Sunderland beating Stoke, Luton beating Stoke. They drew 2-2 with Cardiff and just recently lost against Sheffield Wednesday away from home. And look at their team, people. Again, their goalkeeper aside, who we know is a good goalkeeper, but he can only do so much. This is their team. I think that's Ben Gibson and I think that's Ben Wilmot. I think it's those two. They've got a Berger in midfield. I think that's Jason Kumas's son in midfield and Tom Cannon up front. This is not like Rory Delap and all these guys. This isn't Ryan Shawcross and all these guys just, meat and potato FC. This is a different Stoke now, and you just look at their form in the table. To go along with those results, I should say, 4 losses out of the last 5. So, this is much like, for me, this feels a lot like the Preston game. It feels a lot like that kind of scenario where Leeds United should be heading into this one with full confidence, with a superior squad, going off another good home result and going here and getting the 3 points. And people, yeah, Gareth. I know. 1-0 Stoke incoming. I know it just feels like it, doesn't it? And you know what? It wouldn't surprise me, Gareth, because we've been here before this season. We literally have. Daniel Farco yet again trying to say that there's no difference in the home and away results or performances. He was then talking about actually, I've brought up the away table before about us only being a few points off the top. What Daniel Farco doesn't understand when he brings that up is that we should be not only top of that, but by a clear margin. So he thinks that he's bringing up the table saying we're only like 3 points or 4 points behind who's top. The point of that is that the away games that we've had, we should have accumulated more points and be clear of that team at the top. We should be like 3 points ahead of that team at the top. So although he tried to make the point in saying we're only a few points behind the leaders, the point of it, though, is that we should be clear. And I think he kind of just completely misread that whole kind of table thing for me. Mike in the house, just waking up in Florida. Shout out to you, man. And who do I see on my screen? KG Claus himself. Merry Christmas, everyone. Shout out to you, man. Yeah, Matt as well. This is another one. Please, it's not a 12:30 kickoff. It is late. So now we're gonna go from if we don't win or we have a bad result, is it then just from the early kickoffs or is it because it's too late? What is it next? It just seems like we always have some kind of excuse ready when we don't win a game, and I don't like that. I think that we should just be accountable. And I've got to say, I don't think he's being very accountable for the away performances. I think for him to say that there's barely any difference between home and away is very disingenuous, especially when we can see with our own eyes that we do not start the same way away from home like we do at Ellen Road. It's completely 2 different teams, it seems. We're below a team with a points deduction here. They've been flying. They've been flying. Michael saying Danny Farker should have noticed that all our rivals are going there and getting their results. Yeah, all of them. Absolutely all of them. And by the way, speaking of our closest rivals, I mean, it's a great weekend for us to try, a great day for us to try and get some points on the board, because Blackburn plays Sunderland at home, which is a great game within itself. And then Sheffield United take on Burnley, which is even better. If we can get 3 points against Stoke later on that evening, oh boy, just think about the mental boost that will be for us, and then the mental fatigue it should take on those other teams around us. It would be brilliant. Carl, having our keeper is like a points deduction. That's tremendous, man. That's tremendous. Matt here saying we needed Carlos to stay in charge versus Sheffield United. Very interesting you brought that up. I was going to bring that up later, but seeing as you brought it up already, Matt, just to quickly say, because I know quite a lot of you are big Corberan fans. Well, he is heading out to his boyhood club, Valencia. he has got himself a pretty big job over there. So he's going to be leaving West Brom. I think it's probably going to be today or tomorrow. It's very, very soon. They triggered the €3 million release clause, and Corberan is leaving West Brom to head over to Valencia. So, you know what? Shout out to him, man. Listen, for me, I've never been fully convinced by him, and maybe it's just because of the clubs he's taken over and the kind of results that he has to get with those teams. I feel like he draws a hell of a lot of matches for me. And the football isn't the best, but again, maybe that's the personnel that he's had to sign at those clubs, even though he does sign a few athletes in all fairness. So maybe it is just his way of playing. I think people thought because he was the assistant or right-hand man of Bielsa that he'd be the same helter-skelter kind of coach. And he's not. He's actually near enough the opposite. So, you know what? Shout out to Corberan, and it's going to be interesting to see where West Brom go from here, because they've been flirting with the playoff places, but he's been a big part of that, hasn't he? So, you know what? Salute to him, man. Salute to him. Do we have a sell-on clause for Carlos? I don't think so, man. I don't think so. So there is Stoke City, people. And that's where they are. That's where they are in the table. Crazy how we give Preston some points to go above them. Anyway, listen. Here we are. We've got to scroll up for us. And let's just say anything happens in that Sheffield United Burnley game, it would be great to get 3 points on the board and sorry, cement ourselves in the top two even further. Augie in the house. Merry Christmas, KG. All the best to you and your family, and to yours too, my man, or woman, or they, him, or all the pronouns, people, all the pronouns. I don't know. Gavin saying here, talk of a Bilic return. Yeah, that makes sense. That sounds very West Brommy. Yeah, that makes a lot of sense. So, where are we going next? Okay, team. What would you do? Well, this is what I would do currently with everything we know so far. I've got a feeling that Verba won't be back for the game. So if Byram's fit and ready to go, I would put him in at left back. If Strauch is still not fully ready to go again, I would slot Ampadu at centre back. Don't risk Pascal Strauch for short-term game and long-term pain. Don't do it. So if we have to go with Ampadu and Rodon at the back again, please do so. It's only going to build up Ampadu's fitness as well when he's ready to return to central midfield, people. Okay? That's when it's going to happen. I'm telling you, it's going to happen, people. And Bogle, of course, on the right. I would go with Darlow in net just purely on the basis that if we don't start well, if we need a save, if we need just a basic save from somewhere, I've just got more confidence in Darlow making a save than I do Illan Meslier, and it's just as simple as that. Again, a lot of talk about Meslier leaving as well, people, in January. A lot of talk, but again, I haven't seen any like solid, concrete rumors about Meslier leaving yet. I wish I did see a couple more like we've seen before. But yeah, it might be one to look out for, man. I think Leeds have got to be smart. You just have to be smart about it and realize you can get cash for this goalkeeper and literally get a better goalkeeper on loan at a cheaper rate. Honestly, it just makes so much sense, but we shall see, people. We shall see. At this moment in time, stick with Rothwell and Tanaka in midfield. I think that goes without saying. And this would be my front four. And again, this is probably where we get a bit of differences. I've already seen like Ramazani, Gavin here saying I'd start Ramazani at Stoke. At this point, I wouldn't. I think Ramazani, I don't know if he's fully fit yet. I don't know. I don't know if he's fully fit, but Solomon, got to keep him in there after that performance. If he's fit, if he's ready to play, absolutely got to play Manor Solomon. That performance again, I even watched his highlights back. That's football, man. That is absolute football. Just keeping the ball, close control, and doing something with it. Not keeping the ball and then stopping and then passing it back in field or backwards. He was going forward with a purpose, man. Absolutely love to see that from Manor. Keep him in there. Aronson is going to stay in there, so no point debating that one. James on the right and Joseph up front. Just purely, people, to not have the Aronson Peru thing, which is it's not working away from home. So let's not force it. Let's give us a bit of energy up front as well with Joseph, who is ready to go. Recently did an article as well with Sport Bible. Go and check that one, or Soccer Bible. Go and check that one out. But listen, that for me is more than good enough. And then again, if you're talking, weapons off the bench, still got Peru to come on, who's done well in that sub role. You've got Ramazani, you've got Nonto. That's a lot of firepower, people. Schmidt, I'm sure, could get a run out in this one. Let's go. Gavin saying here, get the West Bromwich cubic Palmer. Nah, he's not good. He's not a good goalkeeper. Every time I've seen this goalkeeper play, he looks like a championship goalkeeper. And for me, that's not the point of replacing Meslier. It's like I've said about Farker, people. And if you're not going to get someone better than Farker, then you don't replace him. That is, again, that is just cutting off your nose and going, uh-oh, what are we going to do next? And listen, just go with the whole Jesse Marsh thing when we got rid of him and we thought we was going to get Iriola and all these guys. And then all of a sudden people didn't want to come to us. It's like, oh damn, what have we done here? No, for me, the goalkeeper for me it's a layup. It is, and I know I've said his name many times, but it's Jason Steele from Brighton. And I've already said, even if you have to get him on a loan with a view to a permanent move, it wouldn't be expensive. It'd probably be 2 million, and that's your backup goalkeeper in the Prem, and that's a very good backup to get. A very, very good backup. Jason Steele is competent at a lot of things in goal, especially playing out from the back, which Meslier isn't. So you do that, and then once you get to the Prem, as I've said, there's goalkeepers out there to get that I would be my first choice. But yeah. But listen, yeah. Spursy desperate for a centre back, take 20 million. Okay, that's a Pascal Strout thing. Yeah, again, Pascal, don't know what's going on with that. I know Omar Bamadeli's name came back up, but there's no new links with Omar Bamadeli. The report from, I think it's John Percy, that was from August when we was last linked with him. And I said that, before that, he would be brilliant to get in on loan because he's not going to get game time at Forest, which he hasn't. And at this level, and Danny Farr could trust him as well, he'd be a good addition to have. So for me, Omar Bamadeli or any other centre back in that kind of range doesn't come in unless Pascal or maybe Max Verber leaves. So I don't know what's going to happen there, but we shall see with Pascal. Maybe Pascal's got an itch to play in the Prem. Who knows? But I don't know if that's going to happen. I'll be real with you. Does anyone else think Pascal's going to leave in January? I don't see it. But this is football. You just never know. You just never know. Chris here saying makes sense, so they won't do it. Yeah, it's just so simple, Chris. It really is. It's not. This is not hard maths for me, and I'm not great at maths. But you subtract Meslier out of this team, get near 10 million or whatever it is you can get. Anything for me over 6 is a win for Leeds United. Anything over that, because his value has plummeted big time for me. If you can get anywhere near that, go and get Jason Steele, even if it's like an 18-month deal. Let's go with that. I'm absolutely fine with that. Absolutely cool with that, because he will give the defense and everyone else in front of him the confidence to play the way that they want to play without having to worry about him being at the back and, oh my God, is it going to be shot right at him? Is it going to go straight through his hands? Is this shot going to go off someone's shin and back to him, but it still goes in? Is this penalty going to get taken right underneath him and he jumps over it? Listen, people, there's just so many things. I don't want to go into it. Merry Christmas and all that. You know what I'm saying? Darren here saying Steele is a sensible choice, but our club like to make simple things difficult. Yeah. And listen, I'm not just saying, yeah, I know, Matt, to stop talking him down. He's worth 20. Yeah. I'm not saying Jason Steele is the only one. There's also Dan Bentley. There's Dubravka. There's other goalkeepers in the Premier League that can make an instant impact and a more sturdy presence than Elan Meslier. And they won't be expensive to get. They'll probably be loans where you take on a portion of their wages. If that's the case, do it if you're getting money back in from Meslier, because he can't get a new contract. Absolutely not. Absolutely not. But yeah, people, I mean, this front four is, if there's anything else anyone would change, I guess leave it in the comments. I'm sure there'll be some shouts for Ramazani, and I understand that as well. Maybe even some people want Piroe, but the thing is, for me now, I just don't go with the Piroe Joseph thing now, because it's not going to happen, unless we're 1-0 down with 82 minutes gone. There's just no point doing it, because it's just pointless. I know me putting Darlow in is just as pointless, but I'm just saying, just for my own personal just headspace, I can't in good faith put Meslier in there in an away game. Lee's putting the price down even more. Michael here saying Meslier is worse than Kiko. Oh, damn. I'm a bag of nerves when the ball is played back to him. Off the field issues aside with Kiko, he was you just didn't know what you was going to get with Kiko Casilla. You didn't know. Like, there would be the most simple ball to catch, and instead of catching it or just punching it away, he'd clear out one of our centre backs at the same time. just for no reason. I've lost count the amount of times Liam Cooper got clattered by Kiko Kassi. He was just scary, wasn't he, man? He just unreliable, absolutely no unreliable. Annabelle saying no Peru, please. Yeah, this isn't. It's so interesting with Peru. I mean, I haven't got him in there, Anna, myself, but he is still currently our top scorer. I think behind him is Brendan with 6, and then I think Dan James is behind them with 5. We're spreading the goals out very, very nicely, and hopefully that continues into the new year. But yeah, I know what people are saying in terms of Peru away from home, because I've said it. Unless you're just looking for a finisher or someone to play you in when the ball's at his feet, Peru's not going to do much else for you. And again, I'm not saying there's anything wrong with that, but you're not looking for him to press from the front because that's just not his game. Carl here saying Nanto up top. If he doesn't start Joseph, Peru has been poor lately. Okay. Yeah, yeah. I'm not against Nanto up top. I think Nanto can play up front if he needed to. Absolutely. Yeah, most Peru goals from 70 to 90 minutes. Yeah. Paul saying here, Ruffwell in at the 10. He can pick a pass way better than Aronson if we camped in. If we camped on the 18-yard line. Yeah. I mean, well, listen, we've got Aronson. Paul, I hear you, but you know what? He's not dropping Aronson. I can pretty much guarantee you over this Christmas period, Aronson's going to probably start both games. Like he's just his durable, reliable guy. And you can see with Daniel Farker, he likes Brendan a lot. He likes him a hell of a lot. So I think it's very unlikely, unless the medical team say Brendan needs a rest at this point. I think Aronson pretty much starts every game, which is why I said in the match reaction stream, I don't know if we're going to go in for an actual 10 like a Buendia. I think it's going to be, if we're going for a 10, it's going to be like a low risk 3 million, 4 million pound one. I don't see it being like a big hitter like a Buendia, because I think he trusts Aronson completely. Clive here saying Nanto for Aronson. Again, I understand that one too. What are we saying? Jack here saying Peru just refuses to compete physically. Yeah, it's not his game, Jack. And there's a lot of players like that, Jack. I guess it stands out more at the striker position. But yeah, he's not a physical striker, not in any way, shape, or form. You know, it's not like he just gets nudged off quick, you know, like Aronson. But you see it though, don't you? When there's like a 50-50 ball, he'll make some kind of little effort. You know, that little half jump that strikers make, like, I'm really going for it, but I'm not. He does those. I see it though. You know what I mean? But yeah, I understand what you're saying, man. He's a technical, like, finesse player. That's what Peru is in my eyes, anyway. Michael is saying, KG, if Farker is not dropping Aronson, does that mean Leeds will not recruit a number 10? I don't know if it doesn't mean they'll recruit one, Michael, but I don't think it's going to be in the ilk of a Buendia type. So maybe they do go in for that. What is it? Is his name Diego Luna? Maybe they're going for somebody like that who would be happy to be a rotation option. But if you're going for a Buendia type, Buendia is not coming down here to rotate. He's coming to start. And that's going to be the difference. So we shall see what kind of play we go for. I think it's going to be very interesting in January, what we do or what we don't do. I think it's going to be a very interesting window. Augie just saying here, why I have a feeling that Peru is better from the bench instead of starting the game. I can see that he's more confident coming on a sub. I don't know. I'm probably wrong, just a feeling. It's just one of those things, isn't it? Sometimes when the game is like 70 minutes gone, players are a little bit more tired and everything else. And with Peru's game, he's just looking for space. And by that time, gaps open up depending on what the score is and everything else like that. And it just probably suits Peru a little bit more, rather than when we're starting the game away from home, maybe we're a little bit sluggish. And if we're sluggish, Peru's going to be sluggish. It's going to be like that. And if he's not getting the ball at his feet ready to strike it, he's going to be pretty much ineffective. And it's not me saying he's a bad player. It's just his style of play. So, yeah, I don't know what that is. Maybe is to do with just being better from the bench. Maybe he's going to be the new Solskjaer. I don't know. Gavin here saying Bamford must be off somewhere, surely not coming on versus Oxford. That's another one, Gavin. We shall see. We shall see. I got the Supermalt locked and loaded for that one. But yeah, I just feel like there's been so much noise, more than ever before. Probably since the season he started, you know, he got the 17 league goals, you know, with no crowds, you know, and he was linked to like Arsenal, Tottenham, and a couple of other clubs. I don't think there's ever been any more noise about him leaving than there has been over the last couple of months. I love it. I absolutely love it. I've said before, even if Crew Alexandra, someone makes up a story about Crew want him, I'll report it. I don't care. But no, it does seem like he's very unhappy in terms of his role. He, in his head, and I'll give him credit for this because it takes some. In his head, he probably still thinks he's a Premier League striker, but it's going to take, a Genoa, whether it's Wrexham or maybe a Premier League club. I did see Southampton recently, name get tossed in there. If they want to take him on, awesome, because it probably means we're going to get a little transfer fee for him, which would be excellent at this point, because I did expect it to be a mutual agreement of termination of contract. We pay him up a little, then he moves on. If we can get any kind of fee for Bamford, that's amazing, honestly. What I will say is that he rightfully got the goal of the is it the goal of the year, goal of the season? Definitely deserved that for that goal against Peterborough. Worthy winner, absolutely. Michael, continuing here, I believe that Leeds will go for a predatory striker. Oh, I hope not. I know what you mean. Similar to Latte Laugh, especially if Gelhardt and Bamford leave in the window. Yeah, Gelhardt's another one for me that has to go. Just has to go. Like Bamford, he's wasting a roster spot, but in a different way. I feel like Gelhardt needs to just restart his career elsewhere. But yeah, that's what I'm saying. There needs to be some departures because we've got some squad players here that are just not playing any football. People, there's literally pointless being here. So if we can get any permanent deals done, I think it's more likely to be a loan case in January more than anything. Then yeah, we need to get them out to get some players in that can actually help us for the rest of the season. But Latte Laugh, I don't know about him. I know a lot of you guys seem to like him. Maybe it's because he scored against Leeds a few times, but I don't see Middlesbrough letting him go. I think he was linked. Didn't someone reject? No, didn't Middlesbrough reject like a near 20 million bid off Ipswich for him in the summer? Do not see them letting him go in January. But yeah, if you're talking about that kind of striker, then yeah, I can definitely see that too, Michael. That ilk of a striker, physical forward, I definitely see that. Annabelle saying, if you're on the Super Bowl cage, I'll be on the champagne if Barndor goes. Yeah, listen, I got to celebrate it, man. It's been too long. It's been too long. It's caused me so much strife, caused me so many headaches in the comments, people abusing me for my opinion on this guy. Yeah. It's going to be a celebratory stream. I gotta say. Oh man, hold on a minute. So listen, people. Here we are. There we are. Oh yeah. Before we get into score predictions, Gavin saying just been talking to an Everton season ticket holder. Said that Harrison has been shocking. Yeah, and and water is wet, Gavin. You know what I mean? Nothing you can't tell me, and that's what I'm talking about in terms of the 49ers. I said on my match reaction about 49er enterprises learning from their mistakes, but it's their fault why we kept Harrison and didn't get the 25 million off Leicester. I bet they regret that one. Man. Yeah, and that's it, Darren, as well, in terms of that. Imagine we don't need to talk about him anymore. That's what I'm looking for, Darren, in terms of that. I mean, listen, even Farker in that press conference where that journalist made up stuff about his movement being great in that match. They just make stuff up when it comes to Bamford. His movement was great. No, it wasn't. It really wasn't. He was hardly moving. That's the thing. But they make stuff up for Bamford, and we can be free of that. And I cannot wait. Maybe the Bamford fans as well that he accumulated it during that time will leave also. Get lost. All right. One of those. Hopefully he's like Messi. He's got like fans that are dedicated to him and they go with him to his next club. I would love that. Michael here, Ipswich boosted their forward options by bringing in Kiefer Moore and Sarmiento, which helped them get over the line. This time last year, KG, you were talking about getting more for Leeds. Michael, you got a very good memory, and that is right. Yeah, I did say that at the time because it's what we were missing. We were missing that physical forward who can do that hustle bustle in the box because we had all the finesse with Jorginho, with Somerville, with Nanto, James. We had all of that there, but we was just missing that one different piece in up front, and we didn't have it. The only thing is, Michael, like, as I said, unless you're getting rid of Bamford, we are not bringing another striker. We're just not. It's not happening. We're not having a £35,000 a week striker that we already don't use, and then adding yet another expensive forward on there. It's not going to happen. So there are going to have to be some departures, and hopefully that he's going to be one of them. Jim in the house, finally catching a live one again with the big man. Happy Christmas, KG. Happy Christmas to you, man. And Tim here is starting it off here. 2-1 Leeds, 1 away win. Yeah, score predictions, people. For me, like I say, Stoke, it will only be a difficult game if we make it a difficult game. And we've seen our away games this season. There is a high chance of doing that. But what I want to see from this team and Danny Farke, he's not stupid. He will have heard all the criticisms. He's heard all of the talk. He's been asked about it in press conference about away performances. I want him to get this team to start the way we do at home. I don't want to see any differences. I don't want to see us sitting back. I don't want to see side to side passing for about 10, 15 minutes. I want you to go and attack this Stoke City team that is there to be attacked. And with that being said, with my team, I'm going to go with a Tim's gone for 2-1. I'm going to go with 2-0. I'm going to go with a clean sheet. What we saying, people? Darren here going for a 2-0 win. Please don't screw up anymore, please. Ishtar going for a 2-0 Leeds win. Gavin going for a 3-1 win. Michael here just saying here we got Connor Robertson, didn't use him enough. Not did we get what we needed. Bamford injured after the window closed. Yeah, Michael, that's a whole mishmash of words there. But what I think you're trying to say there is we didn't utilize Connor Roberts enough. We didn't. It was another one, just another screwed up loan. We didn't utilize Jed Spence enough, who's now playing Premier League for Tottenham. We didn't. We messed up the loan system a lot. Jaden Anthony, we didn't utilize him good enough. The only one that got played really was Joe Roden. Everyone else was. Yeah, it was bad. It was bad the way we utilized the squad last year. Not we, the manager, I should say. Nowhere near good enough, man. Let's think if we kept Jeb Spence. But anyway, let me just carry on. Chris is going here for an easy 2-0. Yep, Annabelle here going for got to be on the front from the start. 2-0 win as well. Yeah, love that. Danny's going for a 1-0 late winner. Ugh, what a dry game for Boxing Day. 2-1 saying Chris. Yep. Mike going 1-0 Leeds, closer than it needs to be. Yep. Going for a clean sheet. Yeah. Well, I've put Darlow in there, man, innit? I've put him in there. So we should get a clean sheet. Come on. Wales number, what is he? 1B? They seem to like swap the Wales starting goalkeeper. Jack saying here, I can see their goalkeeper, Victor Johansson, having a here's what you could have had Leeds fans type of performance. Yeah, he probably will, Jack, but he's been breached quite a few times. That's what I'm saying. If we stay on him, especially in the way that we played in the last game against Oxford, we should generate enough chances to get past him at least a couple of times. But I've got no doubt he's going to make a lot of saves. He's a good goalkeeper. He's a very good goalkeeper, in fact. So, yeah, I do envision him having a few saves and just going, oh, that's how it's done, is it? That's how it's done. 1 million, man. 1 million. Paul going here, 2-0 Leeds, 3-1 Diggler. Carl's going 1-0 goal from nobody. Fair enough, Carl. Yeah, we're just going to score in the air. Oh, from a central midfielder. Well, there you go. Christmas miracle. Clive here going, sorry, it's going to be a draw. Stoke are up for it. I mean, are they up for it, Clive? I mean, let me just go back here. Seem to have lost the tab. Are they up for it? I mean, what makes you say that, Clive? Please put your answer in the comments, because I'm looking at they're up for it. 2-0 loss against Burnley. I can't even get a win at home against a 10-man Preston. Sunderland taken them. Luton have taken them. 2-2 draw against Cardiff. I mean, a 2-0 loss against Wednesday. I mean, how up for it are they? I don't know. 1-0 either way. Oh, please no. Tom in the house. Nice to catch you live on Christmas Eve from Sunny Coast, Australia. Salute to you, Tom. And Augie going 1-0. Dan James. Would love that. And when Dan James scores, we win. Simple math. We don't need to overcomplicate it. Just one thing from me. What reminds me of Christmas and football, and I'd love to get your comments in the comment box as well. It's a really weird one. I guess people go, why? But I think it's because when I used to watch Match of the Day so religiously when I was little, it was always Newcastle. That song they play at the start. I don't know what it's called, what it is, but Newcastle play it literally at the start of every game, much like we do for Marching On Together. You know that do 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 do. Whatever that is, it's like a trumpet or a horn, and it always reminds me of Boxing Day fixtures for Christmas. And I see Newcastle at home this Boxing Day, so I'm gonna have to watch that because it just gets me in the Christmas spirit even more. Crazy stuff, innit? Crazy stuff. Chris saying here, take the handbrake off. 2-0 Leeds. That's the handbrake off. That's funny. That's funny, but you're right, Chris. It would be. Luke is asking here, where do we put Grove when he's back? Tough question, Luke. Tough question. The bench, when all our central midfielders are fit, people, there's going to be people that won't make the bench. There's going to be people that won't make the bench. It's going to be tough. Gonna be real tough. So yeah, Gavin, stick Grove in goal. But yeah, that'll be a question for when Grove is back, people. But listen, this is it. And Jive here saying, come on, KG, this is Legion I we're talking about. Happy Christmas, KG, to you and yours. You too, Jive. That is it for the preview, people. That is it. I think I'm gonna watch some Christmas stuff today, and I'm also going to just revisit, as I always do, the 99-2000 Premier League years where we were top, the first team top in the millennium. That was a nice days, people. I always like to be reminded of those where I want this club to go back to. But yeah, listen, people, that has been your Christmas edition. I hope you've enjoyed it. Shout out as well. I don't know if I did it at the start. Shout out to you, Russ, for the super thanks on the last video. Very generous of you, man, and much appreciated. But yeah, people, put your team predictions or your preferred 11 in the comments. Put your score predictions in, and I'll see you in the next video on Boxing Day. And that video is already up, so if you want to press the reminder to join me live after the game, it will be there, people. So yeah, enjoy your Christmas, people. Have a good one. Salute to you and yours, or even if you by yourself, have a time of reflection. Make next year your best year. I'll see you in the next video, people. Peace out. Merry Christmas.